Roadster Shop Car in VR. Hello there everyone and welcome to OpenFed Gaming. You're listening to the OpenFed. Today we are driving a Roadster Shop Rampage Camaro car. It's a tuned car produced by the Roadster Shop based on the second generation Chevrolet Camaro. We're driving it in the American Clubman Cup 700. At the Trial Mountain Circuit, we're doing 5 laps. We start at 12 of 12, and we started with a rolling start. Now these laps are a little bit longer. 5 of them are going to take a little while, so we don't have to get too excited. We passed one car, I believe, is what we passed so far. And we're just going to wait for our opportunities. Now, this is one of my favorite tracks to drive on in Gran Turismo. I got about 3 or 4, but this was in the top. I really enjoy this track. You got this nice straight section here through the tunnel, and you got a little straight section at the finish point, and you got a little bit of back and forth. It's really an enjoyable track to rip around on. Now this particular car, it looks like a Camaro, but it's pretty bare bones on the inside. It's an awesome car to drive. It hugs the road really well. It handles great, and it's got lots of power. However, when you give it a little bit too much throttle before coming out of the corner, more so than most other cars, you tend to spin out. So you really have to pay attention when you're driving this particular car. You have to slow down. See, like that Corvette in front of me there. You really have to take care and hold it back. Although you want to go faster, like you all know, I like to win the race in the first lap. But that isn't always manageable. Sometimes you have to drive according to sometimes you always should drive according to the track. Slow down around the corner, speed up in the straight sections like I'm doing here, and you improve your position gradually. But I'm not a real race car driver. I'm just an enthusiastic sim racer. So I try to do the best I can, but this track, having driven it for so many times, quite a bit, I'm starting to get a little bit better at using the full track. Every once in a while around corners like this, I go a little bit too wide, but usually do pretty good. So we're in our second lap here already. So 5 laps, like I said, it's going to be a little while. So anyhow, this car, like I'd said, you got to slow down around the corners. Then when you come around a corner like this, and you straighten out, you got to wait till you're fully straight, and then you can punch it. And even then, you got to be careful, because you don't want this car to run away on you. It's got a lot of power. So you really have to use the throttle to your advantage. You have to brake quite a bit, to be able to stay on track. Now, it's a lot of fun to drive this. A lot of fun to drive it on this track. So all in all, the race is awesome. I think that this car might be a little bit too overpowered for some of these other cars, because we are in the second lap, getting close to finishing the second lap, and the cars in front of me, I believe, would be cars number 9, 10, and 11. And I think in front of that red Viper, there's only one other car. So I think that the OpenFed's in really good position as we're coming around the corner upon the completion of our second lap. We're going to see here in a second, okay, as we're coming down the straight section here. Now we're going to rip by these guys. So we have done 2 laps, and we're already in second place. Well, we're in third right now, but this red Viper is going to fall too. There you go. Now we've only got 1 car left in front of us, and still 3 laps to go. So I believe if we can catch this guy in the next lap, we're going to have 2 easy laps, where we can just cruise and practice our full track usability, I suppose you can call it. See here, we go a little bit wide on the corner. So I'm still practicing on that, still trying to get better. But like I said, this is one of my favorite tracks. It's really enjoyable. So we're catching up to this, I believe is a Corvette in front of us, another Corvette. And he's gonna fall like the last domino in this straight section in the tunnel. Because this is where we can make up our time. Now, I believe he's the #1 car. Of course, we are never 100% certain. There might be another car in front of us somewhere. However, we won't know until we get to the final lap and we hit that checkered flag. So all we can do is just keep going, you know, go as fast as you can, but drive a nice clean race. Use the full width of the track, like I said, right here, cutting back and forth. She really starts to flow through there. And slow down around the corners so you can stay on the track and get a nice rhythm going. That's awesome. This car just, I love the way it hugs the road. And for graphics, this track I believe is one of my favorites. There's a few other ones. The Eiger Nord one is really cool too because it's got a lot of different elevations and mountains in the background. So it's a really nice track too, but this is a really good one. So here we're coming up down the straight stretch to the end of the 3rd lap. We got 2 more laps to do as we're ripping down the road, and we're not sure, like I said, if there's anybody left in front of us or not. But it doesn't matter, because while we're ripping, if you slow down too much, you know, those guys are going to catch up from behind and pass you. And this is something that the Opethet's been known to do, you know, a little bit of falling asleep at the wheel almost. You get so engrossed in driving and watching where you drive and trying to do the best job possible. Ooh, a little bit of a spin there. You try to do the best job you can, and while you're doing that, a lot of times I forget to keep an eye on the rearview mirror. By doing that, these guys sometimes they come up behind you and they sneak by you, because I tend to, if I'm not chasing somebody, I tend to drive a little bit slower. Drive a little bit slower, take the corners a little bit better, and take my time because I don't want to spin out or do something to make me lose a race. In the meantime, we don't look at the cars behind us and we let them win instead. But not today. Today that's not going to happen. As we're coming through this last little section, we're getting close to the end of the 4th lap and there's only 1 to go. Now if you look in the rearview mirror, it's kind of hard to see here because you're going back and forth, so you can't really see far behind you. But once we get around at the end of this lap, we'll have that straight section. Then we can take a look at the rearview mirror and see if there's anybody there. But I don't think there is. And looking ahead, as we get around this corner, I don't think there's anybody in front of us either. So we're just going to give it a nice even speed. There we go. As we're coming around here. Now you look in the rearview mirror and see. I don't see anything coming. Nothing. No, I think we got a good buffer zone between us and the next car behind us. Which it might be a little bit boring when you're watching because it looks like I'm racing against myself. Now, when you're sitting in behind the steering wheel, it doesn't matter whether there's cars in front of you or not. I mean, you're still driving, you're racing on the road, and you're trying to go as fast as you can without making any mistakes, and you're still having fun. So, for me, it's enjoyable, and I hope you really enjoyed watching this one too, because like I said, it's one of my favorite tracks. And this car is a little different, lots of power, and great handling. Just don't give it too much fuel when you're coming around these corners until you straighten it out. Once you straighten out, now you can let her rip. When we get to the bottom of this straight section, we're almost home free. I tell you, I really enjoyed this race. We got a bunch more real fast ones like this coming up, so if you don't want to miss out, hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this race, give us a thumbs up. You know, and any comments you want to leave me a note down below. And if there's any cars that you'd like to see me race, I'd be more than happy to try and get them on. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this race, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. You've been racing at the Trial Mountain Circuit with the Opafed.